In DaVinci Resolve, in and out points can be used to define a range of clip to be targeted for editing operations. Now, to better understand that, let's understand how to use it first. So the first thing we're going to do is to bring up a source clip in the source viewer. And then what we're going to do is to hit the I key to set the in point, and then hit the O key on the keyboard to set the out point. So just like that, now we have defined a range of the clip within this source video that can be used for further editing. Now, if you don't want to use the shortcut, you can always use the buttons, the in and out buttons that you see at the bottom of the source viewer to help you define the in and out points, but the idea is exactly the same. Now, we can also easily remove the in and out points by hitting the Option I key. This will remove the in point, and then hitting Option O key. This will remove the out point. You can also remove both at the same time by hitting the Option X key. This will get rid of both in and out points at the same time. We can also easily jump to the in and out points very quickly. So by hitting the Shift I or Shift O key, this will allow the playhead to jump to either the in point or the out point. In addition, once the in and out points are set, you can also easily change the in and out point positions by dragging it to the left or to the right to either lengthen it or shorten it. And last but not the least, you can also only preview this part of the clip that are defined by the in and out points by hitting the Option / key. This will allow the playback to only play this part of the source clip. And the same goes to clips that are in the timeline. So to set in and out points, by simply clicking the I and O key, this will allow you to set up a range of clip to be used for editing. And if you don't like this keyboard shortcuts, you can always use the buttons that are at the bottom of the preview window for timeline clips. And to get rid of in and out points, you can just simply use the Option I or Option O key to get rid of either one. And if you want to get rid of both, you just hit the Option X key. This will remove in and out points at the same time. And to jump to the in and out points, it's very easy as well. Just like before, you can use the Shift I or Shift O key to jump to either in or out point of the in and out point selection. On top of all that, you can also easily change the selection by dragging the in and out points to different part of the timeline. And last but not the least, just like before, if you want to only preview or play back this part of the timeline, you can simply hit the Option and / key. Okay, so now let's go ahead and look at a few distinguishing features of in and out points. Now, once in and out points are set, one thing you're going to notice right away is that the rest of the timeline is now in shading. That is the system's way of telling you that they will not be impacted by any editing operation you perform. Only the range defined by the in and out points is. And if at any point you notice that the shading is gone, there is a good chance that you have manually selected another clip, or another clip is being selected somewhere in the timeline. And that is something we will look at a little bit more in depth later on, but there is a way to manually overwrite the in and out selection. And to bring it back, simply just click anywhere else in the timeline. This will bring back the in and out points. Now let's go ahead and set another in and out points in the source clip. And we can also save in and out points as well in the system. So when you close the system, you will see that it will ask you to save the in and out points. And if we open this back up again and we go back to the project, you will see that the in and out points in the timeline are intact. And if we bring up the source clip, you will see that the in and out points are there as well. So all your in and out points can be saved. Now the real question is, what can we do with in and out points? So what we're going to do here is to look at a few common examples of how we can apply in and out points when we do editing in DaVinci Resolve. So once in and out points are made in the source clip, what we can do is to right click the range, the selection, and then in the menu you will see an option called Create Subclip, where you can use the keyboard shortcut Option B. So what this will do is to allow you to create a separate clip in the media pool containing the range that it was defined by that in and out points. So this can be something that's really helpful if you have a long clip and you want to break them up into smaller clips. Another example is to bring a source clip into the timeline. So you can do a very common operation like insert. This will bring that selection into the timeline, insert that clip into the timeline, or we can use keyboard shortcut like F9. It will do the exact same thing. Another common operation is append to the end of the timeline. As you can see, that worked beautifully as well. Now let's look at what happens if we don't have in and out points, right? So if we do the same thing, you will see that now this will be a big mess because the entire clip will be brought into the end of the timeline, and it's just not pretty. So okay, so now let's look at another one. Here you can take advantage of commands right on top of the timeline like insert, overwrite. So if we do overwrite, that will work beautifully as well. But one thing I also want to call out here is that you can also set in and out points within the timeline, within the destination as well, to define the range where you want the in and out points from the source clip to be. So if we were to do the same thing now, you will see that that in and out point selection will only happen within this in and out selection that we made in the timeline. So that is another thing that you can do using in and out points when you bring clips into the timeline. Another thing you can do is to delete only part of the timeline that is defined by the in and out points. So once the in and out points are made and you hit the delete key, only that part of the timeline will be deleted as a result. Another thing I want to call out here is that earlier we talked about manually overriding the in and out points. So in this example, if we were to manually select another clip in the timeline and we hit the delete key, this will only delete this clip and not the section that was defined by the in and out points. So you have the ability to override the in and out selection. Now, another thing we can do is to ripple delete, which is another very common operation in DaVinci Resolve. And once again, it will only apply to the range that is defined by the in and out points. So it will not apply to anything or anywhere else in the timeline unless, once again, we manually select another clip to delete or to ripple delete. Then this will overwrite the in and out selection that was made. All right, another one that we can do here is to convert in and out points into duration markers, which is one of my favorite. So right click the in and out points in the menu, select convert in and out points to duration marker. So this, as you can see, will convert the in and out points to a set of markers. And the beauty is that you can set as many as you like. And also once they are set, you can easily convert them back by right click the duration marker, the set of markers, and then in the menu select set in and out from duration marker. So this will convert the marker back to in and out points. This can be very helpful for finding clips in the timeline or making notes of clips within the timeline. Now, a common feature you will most likely use a lot in DaVinci Resolve is a compound clip. And you can easily create a compound clip using just in and out points. So once the in and out points are set, now let's right click the in and out point bar in the menu, select convert in and out to compound clip. Now it's going to ask you to give it a name, and then let's hit create. So now we have a compound clip in the media pool containing just the selection that was made by the in and out points. And we can also easily do so for multiple clips that are on multiple tracks. It works exactly the same way. But one thing I do want to call out here is that compared to the conventional way of creating a compound clip, it works very differently when we do so using just in and out point, because you see that the original clips are not altered. So if we were to get rid of the in and out points and then select these two clips to create a compound clip, you will see that these two clips will be altered as a result. And this is when we use the conventional way of creating compound clip. And then at this point, you can then create a in and also out point to narrowing, to honing on certain part of the clip. But just to note that it works very differently when you start out with in and out points and then convert it into a compound clip. You can also easily copy and paste using in and out points. So once in and out points are set, then simply copy that selection. And then you can go anywhere else now in the timeline and then paste it. But just keep in mind that only that selection is going to be pasted as a result. You can also use in and out points to define where you want the pasted clip to be. So one thing to note here is that if this new in and out point range is shorter than the original in and out point range you used for copying the clip, then you can only paste whatever can be squeezed here in this part of the range, in this part of the selection. But this is another good example where you can use in and out points to not only define the selection, but also decide where it's going to go. Lastly, while in and out points are set usually by us, there are exceptions to this. One example is mark clip and mark selection, which you can find under the mark menu, or we can use the shortcut, keyboard shortcut X and the Shift A. So now let's go ahead and hit the X key. What you will see is that in and out points are automatically set for the beginning and end of the clip that intersects with the playhead. And this will work for any clips in the timeline that intersects with the playhead. But the idea is that the in and out points are automatically set. And if we select a range of clips instead and hit X, unfortunately this won't work. So we will have to use mark selection instead, so which is Shift A. So now you will see the in and out points are set for this entire range of clips. But the cool thing about this is that once the in and out points are set, you can do anything that you like. You can delete it, you can do anything. But the beauty of it is that the in and out points are automatically set for us instead of us manually having to do it. All right, so before we wrap up, let's quickly look at how in and out points work in other parts of DaVinci Resolve. Now on the cut page, once again, you can create in and out points using the I and O keys on the keyboard, or we can use the in and out buttons that are underneath the viewer to do the same thing. And when it comes to source clips on the cut page, it's a little bit different in the sense that now we have actually two handles that we can drag left and right to help define the range of clip that we want to edit. So you don't necessarily have to manually set the in and out points. Okay, so let's come back to the edit page and then bring in a Fusion composition clip. Then we're going to take this Fusion composition clip to the Fusion page. And what we're gonna do here quickly is just to write a text and then keyframe the size parameters at the beginning and end of the clip. So now we'll basically have a text that is getting bigger and bigger throughout the clip. And what I wanna point out here is that while there are no in and out points per se, on the Fusion page, we do have these two yellow lines on the left and right hand side of the time ruler, which allow you to drag them left and right to define the range for rendering as well as playback. So they kind of act as in and out points in a way, but they're not. Because if you come back to the edit page to look at the final output, nothing's really changed as a result. But on the Fusion page, you do now have a refined range for rendering and also playback. You can also use in and out points to define which part of the clip is going to be rendered. So let's go ahead and take it to the deliver page. You will see that now this range of clip is going to be rendered as the final output. Now you don't necessarily have to do it on the edit page. So if we remove the in and out points on the edit page, we can just take it directly to the deliver page. And here we can either drag the in and out points there, or we can use the I and O keys on the keyboard to set the in and out points. Now this range of clip is going to be rendered as the final output. And if you want to go back to the entire timeline, you can simply do so by go to the render and then switch to entire timeline. Okay guys, I hope this helps. I know it's a long video, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And as always, I will see you next time.